Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about playing chords with big hands, and I may not have the hand of Shaquille O'Neal or the hand of the Mountain from Game of Thrones, but my hands are on the bigger side, and I used to struggle with playing chords when I was younger, when I just started learning out guitar, and I used to find it very difficult to cram three or maybe four fingers into a small space in just the early stages of the fretboard. And two things that my guitar teacher taught me back then, and I'm so thankful for that experience. He taught me that I should pay attention to where my thumb is and what it's doing behind the fretboard. Is it supporting my fingers on the fretboard, or is my hand just holding on for dear life in the moment? Um, Secondly, he told me to pay attention to how much pressure I'm distributing to each finger. And that could be because when you're cramming your fingers into a small space and the same fret, for example, one of them is going to be behind the other. You can't fit all of them necessarily in a straight line. It's too hard, it's too much pressure on your wrist. So you have to play them sort of diagonally, which means one comes before the other. So the one that's coming in first is actually at the part of the fret that's most behind, and that could produce some bum notes or some buzzing sounds from the guitar that isn't nice. So let's jump into it. The chord we're going to look at today is the A major chord, simply because you have to cram three fingers into one fret, and I feel like a lot of people actually do struggle with this. And if you can figure out the two things I've just told you, if you can figure it out with the A major chord, you can figure it out very easily with a C chord, with a G chord, with a D chord, because those are less strenuous positions. But let's get into A major for right now. So, if you notice there, what I was doing was I was actually playing out each note one by one. So, the open A string or the open fifth string is the first one. So, I just let that ring out. And followed by the second fret on the D string, the second fret on the G string, and the second fret on the B string. And try to figure out, where you're gonna place your fingers, and try to get an even sound out of each of them. All right, and if you still feel like you're getting a sound like this, something like that, if something like that is happening to you, that's why we're here. That's why we're having this video, and that's what we're gonna address. So first things first, when I place my thumb at the back, if you notice, it's not hanging over the top of the guitar. I see a lot of beginner guitarists doing this when they have to hold a chord. And in some cases, when the note's right at the bottom, in case of the D major chord, you can get away with it. But when they're placed in the middle, if you're holding on to the neck like this, it's not really productive. It's not supporting anything, and also it's putting your fingers at an odd angle. It's sort of like, turning your hand into a claw, and you don't want to do that. You want to be loose. You want to be dexterous, and you don't want to be stressing yourself out so much over one chord that if you were playing it in a song, you wouldn't be able to change it to the next chord. So it should feel fairly relaxed. And how I do that is I put my thumb probably a fair way, to the back of the fretboard. If you can see right here, maybe a little bit of my thumb right there. Yeah, that much is poking out, and you can be forgiven for that much, but no more than this. And that's the first tip. The second one is actually about pressure distribution. And a second ago, I was talking about one finger being towards the start of the fret. So the finger that's at the start of the fret is likely to buzz or to get muted in the process if you're not pressing down hard enough. So if I would just hold the A chord and play it out and then show you up close what happens to my fingers, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So if you can notice that these two fingers have a significantly deeper mark than my third finger, and that's simply because I know from experience that they're going to be at the beginning of the fret. And if they're going to be at the beginning of the fret, it means that they're likely to buzz. If they're likely to buzz, the only solution I can provide myself in that moment is to press down harder, given the fact that I'm already utilizing my thumb properly. And I think if you do these two tricks, you should definitely feel way more confident playing a chord with a bigger hand. And I hope that it works for you. Everyone's hand is unique. Everyone's hand is obviously different. So you're gonna have to sort of, play around with it and tweak these two techniques. Maybe your thumb could be a little higher. If you have a longer thumb, then maybe you could get away with it being a little higher. Maybe you don't need to angle your hands exactly the way that I do, but these are two things that my guitar teacher told me, and I just want to tell you these things so that you don't have to spend years figuring it out. And yeah, that's a small lesson I'd like to give you on how I play chords. If you liked it, please don't forget to like this video, to comment, and to subscribe to my channel. I would definitely love to interact with you more and hear your opinions. And looking forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for watching.